Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where the Bible comes alive, where every story has a lesson and every lesson changes your life. Now today we're diving into the fiery furnace where three friends made a bold stand for their beliefs and came out even stronger. Now this is more than just a story, it's a journey of faith. So stay tuned because by the end of this video, you'll see how their unshakable faith can inspire you too. Once upon a time in ancient Babylon, there was a powerful king named Nebuchadnezzar. He ruled over a vast empire and he loved to show off his wealth and power. Now, he had a massive golden statue of himself made. It was huge, like nothing anyone had ever seen before. Then he put this statue in the center of the capital city and told everyone that whenever they heard music being played, they must get down and bow before it. And guess what? He wanted all the people in his kingdom to do it. Now the people were mostly okay with it. They bowed and everything seemed fine. But there were some people who didn't want to do this. These were Jewish exiles who had been taken from their homeland and brought to Babylon. They were servants in the king's court, but they were loyal to their God, not to the king. And they had three leaders, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They knew that bowing down to this golden statue would be wrong because it was against the law of their God. One day when the trumpets blared and the drums pounded, telling everyone it was time to bow, most people fell to their knees before the statue. But these three friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, stayed on their feet. They didn't move an inch. You know why? Because they knew that their God was much more powerful than any Babylonian king. They believed in a God who was all-powerful, and they weren't about to forget him just because the king had made a big statue and threatened them. A certain official saw that these three friends didn't bow. He was probably annoyed that they didn't follow the rules. So he went straight to the king and said, "Hey, king, those Jewish guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they didn't bow when you told them to. They're being disobedient." Now the king got really mad. He was furious that someone wouldn't obey him. So he gave these three friends one last chance. He went out and told them, "If you don't bow down when I play the music, you'll be thrown into a blazing furnace. The fire will be so hot that no one will be able to save you." Now these three friends could have backed down at this point. They could have pretended to bow just to save themselves. But you know what they did? They stood up even taller and said something really brave. They told the king, "Our God is powerful enough to save us from the fire. But even if he doesn't, we won't worship your gods or bow down to your golden statue. We'll stay loyal to our God." Wow, that takes guts. These guys were willing to die rather than compromise their faith. They knew that if they were thrown into the fire, they might not come out alive. But they trusted that God would take care of them. Now this is important. When we trust God, we should remember that He can and sometimes does deliver us from difficult situations. But sometimes He might choose to let things happen so that we can learn to trust Him even more. Their faith was strong, but it wasn't just words. Their actions showed how serious they were. The king was really mad after hearing what they said. He ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. The soldiers put them in, and the fire was so intense that those who threw them in, even the soldiers, were burned to death. Can you imagine how hot that fire was? It was so crazy that no one could go near it without getting burned. But what happened next was a miracle. The king couldn't believe what he saw. He noticed 4 men walking around in the fire, and the 4th looked like a son of the gods. Can you picture the scene? The flames were going crazy, but these 4 guys were chilling inside. And the king was wondering, how could this be? Why weren't they getting burned? These 4 men were not just walking around in the fire. They were totally safe. It was as if the fire couldn't hurt them at all. They were super cool inside that furnace. And you know what else was amazing? Even their clothes didn't smell like smoke. It was like they had a shield around them, protecting them from the heat. So who were these mysterious 4 men? Well, you already met 3 of them. Remember Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, those 3 friends who refused to bow to the golden statue? And the 4th man, well, it was an angel sent by God to protect them. Isn't that incredible? God sent an angel to help his people. When the 4 men came out of the furnace, the king was shocked. He couldn't believe what he had seen. He called these 3 brave men and asked them how they were able to survive such a hot fire. And you know what they said? They simply explained that it was their God who had sent a protector to save them. They didn't play down what God had done. They didn't try to hide it. They were open and honest about it. The king was amazed by what he had witnessed. He realized that the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was truly powerful, and he didn't want anyone to mess with him. That's why the king made a very important decision. He created a rule that said no one should ever talk bad about the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He respected their God, and he wanted his people to do the same. And you know what? This little story has a big lesson for us. No matter what happens, our faith in God should never burn out. It should be strong and steady, just like the faith of these 3 friends. And even when things get tough and we face challenges, we shouldn't back down. We should stand up tall and keep our faith in God. Just like these 3 friends did, they faced the hot fire, but their faith made them brave. Their belief in God helped them to be courageous and not afraid. And here's another thing to think about. Sometimes God might deliver us right away, but sometimes he might wait a bit before helping us. This story reminds us to trust God no matter what. The 3 friends trusted God, and he took care of them in his own way. And hey, if you want more stories where the Bible comes alive, don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you have a friend who needs to hear this message, share this video with them. Until next time, keep your faith strong and never let it burn out. Thanks for watching.